Hello and welcome to Cardboard and Plastic. Today I have my SGC Return, and this is going to be one of the few return videos I do for quite a while. I have two orders at PSA. Those will probably take 5 months to get done the way that they grade vintage. I'm really not going to do much grading, and really I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of cards. What I'm doing is I have like stacks and stacks and stacks of vintage cards, and I'm just going through them in piles, and I like a keeping pile and like a selling pile, right? So I'm just going cards like this, and I'm like, I like this card. I want to keep it. Eddie Matthews, right? So like this card, a lot of people would try to grade it. It's not a gradable card. I mean, it has a really clean surface. The centering's not horrible. That's this like little gunk thing right there. Right? It's going to kill the grade. Like this card is perfect for a top loader, but in this card, like it doesn't need to be graded for authenticity, right? They don't make fakes of this. And if they do, the fake is going to be so bad that if you even touch a card, you would know that it's fake. Right? This is a card I'm like, I'm going to keep. And then I got cards like this, like also from the 1960 set. Like, I just don't like it. I'm not in love with it, so I'm going to sell it. Same thing with this card, right? And really the centering, like the registration, but it really bothers me that there's a indent in the card right there. So it's kind of, for me, it's just like, don't love it. So I am really like selling there, and I'm really finding that I'm keeping like 10 to 20% of my cards, and I'm going to sell like 80% of the top loader cards I have, just stacks of Hall of Famers. So that's one thing I'm doing. And another thing I'm doing is I'm not going to grade as much. I mean, it's expensive to grade cards, right? And I could just buy more cards instead of grading them. So this order is 5 cards, and 5 cards at SGC cost you $100 to grade, because you got to factor in the shipping back and forth. And a lot of these cards, well, I would say for these cards, it was worth me grading. The first one, it wasn't. Just people don't collect this card. I just thought it was really nice. We'll go through this, and we'll do some bingo grades here. So this card right here is a 1931. It's a tobacco. Henry Cotton, who is in the Golf Hall of Fame. And that's one of my collections, like getting Golf Hall of Famers, like autos. But then like some of these like players there, it's going to be really hard to get an auto on a card. So I'm just collecting maybe like one of their cards from the past. And this card I thought was going to grade between a 5 and a 6. There was an issue with the card there, and it got a 4. There's like a little issue there. It's kind of hard, right there. It's kind of like I don't even know what it is, right? I got the loop out. I'm like, is there a little paper loss there? Or is it like somebody put a rubber band and gave it an indent? Like, I have no idea. And really for this card, it just, you can't find a nicer 4 than this. It is absolutely from 1931, right? And the reason I slapped it up, I shouldn't have really, but it really bothered me because I love this card, and it was sitting in a card saver with a penny sleeve, and it just looked ugly. And I really wish Zion Mag Pros made a slab for cards of that size, specifically like my 1951 Topps red and blueback set, right? I don't like them just sitting in top loaders with penny sleeves, and they just don't look good. I would love, and it's too expensive, right? I can't just send in 104 cards from my red and blue back set to SGC to grade for what, like $15, $20 a piece with the shipping back and forth? I mean, we're talking like $1,500 to grade all those cards. It's just too much money. So, Warren Spahn, and these are cards I think I'm happy that I graded all these. The 1964 Spahn, and I got a Phil Necro rookie from my Hall of Fame PC. These cards, well, both are bought raw, and this was from eBay. And I thought it was going to grade between a 6 and a 7 for both of these cards, right? So SGC, for me, they do a great job, and they're very consistent, right? And that's all you can ask for a grading company. Even if this card was going to grade a 5.5, I think I still would have slabbed it. The registration of the card and the centering, it's absolutely gorgeous. The only issue with the card, right, and you can pick out flaws with any card, right? There's a couple of print spots over there in the left-hand corner, but that is a gorgeous card. And I'm really, like, diving into Warren Spahn right now. And that is one thing I'm doing. Why am I selling so many cards? I want to get into some bigger cards. I want to kind of go through the 60s, get a Nolan Ryan rookie, Tom Seaver rookie, just keep on going back with, because I got all the 70s and the 80s rookies, so I just want to keep on going back. And I'm really not interested in too many modern cards. And really, like a 1988, I don't even know what they call for the registry, what they have with like a Craig Biggio, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, all those Hall of Fame rookies. Those cards, like, I have hundreds of those from my youth, like in binders still. So, like, I don't need any of those graded. This was a ComC purchase. Gorgeous card here. Got a 6, so very happy with that grade. And it had that little surface dimple right there. But this is something that, go ahead, look at all your 1964 Topps cards, things like that. Hold these under lights, look at them, you're gonna find a flaw. And if you don't like flaws, don't collect cards. But that's what I was kind of expecting for that card, right around a 6. So perfect for me and my PC. And the last two, I have, and we'll do this one first. And this card I thought was going to grade between a 3 to a 3.5. Now, looking at the card, you're like, no way should it grade that high. It has bad centering. All the corners are kind of rounded. But if you go through SGC rubrics, all of those are allowed. And they gave this card a 3.5. And it seems like, is this card overgraded? Well, if you take a look at it, right, the corners are pretty rough, but it's within their guidelines for a 3. And what makes this card special, it was the surface. When I took a look at this card, I bought this from eBay, and I was just amazed by how clean the surface was. There was no creases, no wrinkles, which is very uncommon, too, for a lot of these cards from that era. So that card, I mean, it looks amazing in the SGC slabs. I just wish grading was, it gets too much money. It should be $8 to grade these cards. The problem now, though, is SGC is all about volume, and they will grade your Topps Now, your 2024 Topps Chrome for $10 a piece, because all they do is they just look at them and, yeah, here's a pile of 9s, here's a pile of 10s, slab them up. It takes time to grade vintage, right? But $15 is just too much to put these cards in plastic. Again, if Zion had a case for it, I would buy it. Now this one, I thought was going to be right about a 4. And it graded a 3, right? When I checked the video, I did see a little tiny surface wrinkle there. But I think, and I pointed this out in the video, like, I don't know what this is here, right? Is this like a little bit of dirt, or did somebody mark it with like a pen or something? I tried to even look underneath the loop and I just couldn't find out there. And probably the grader SGC didn't like this. I didn't like it. And that's why I got the grade. But I mean, that is, to me, like, it doesn't get any better than that. Having that beautiful 1949 Bowman Warren Spahn in an SGC case. They just look right for vintage. And I wish, like, I was going to grade more, but yeah, if I'm going to keep cards like for grading for the future, and maybe if it becomes $8-10 a piece, I'll send in another group of cards. But for right now, I'm just collecting and staying away from that. And I am looking though for kind of the 19, well, if you want to call it 48 or 49 Leaf Warren Spahn, I'm going to get that. I'm looking also for the 50, 52 Bowman Spahn. I'm just going to collect almost all of them. The 52 tops is really on my radar as well right now for Warren Spahn. So that's kind of where I am collecting right now, is just I'm going to be selling a lot more and just holding out for some cards that I really, truly want. Right? So like one card in the past I really wanted and I traded in a bunch of cards and I got, and I love it for my PC, is the 1950 Bowman Yogi Berra. Right? So I'm going to do more of that in 2025. So in the comments below, let me know, what are your 2025 goals for collecting? Are you going to grade a lot? Or are you going to just collect raw cards? Or are you just going to kind of sell off some cards like I'm doing and try to get yourself into some bigger cards? And as always, have a great day. Keep on collecting.